Shalom, first and foremost, all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Hakodash, Dolan to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you. Hopefully, like shalom unto you. Your brother Shaquad with a video here, and I'm going to try to keep it concise, but you know the spirit moves, so Lord willing is edifying. Just want to kind of go into this, and I'm going to start with this disclaimer. Fair use is not for monetary value. The video clip I'm going to show, you know, is on YouTube, but it's not going to be used for any monetary value. It's just for educational purposes, all right? So without further ado, I'll play the video because there's some good points to be made out of it, okay? And I just want to hit on some of those points, all right? This can be used as something that you can learn wisdom and learn, you know, and pick up from, okay? All right, so I'm gonna just play it, see if I can get it fresh.
Hey, what's going on?
Slow motion, how you?
You alright?
Trying to hold it together. I use a little help.
What would you like?
Maybe cereal and nutriment.
That's it? You don't want Chinese food, nothing else?
It's a little heavy.
You can get whatever you want.
Hold on, man, it should be bullshit.
You can get whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just a cereal and nutriment would be good. A cereal and nutriment, maybe $2 or $3 to get through the day. I'll be okay.
Yep.
Yeah? Alright, where you want the cereal at?
Right here.
Come on.
Thank you, King.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Good.
Appreciate it.
Why you just want cereal though?
Because a lot of times when you don't get to eat normally at a regular regimen, your stomach starts to shrink.
Right.
So people will know that you're hungry, and they'll bless you with a platter, but 3 spoons fill your space. And then you can't really eat the other food, so you're carrying it.
Hey,
All right.
what's going on?
And so that's the key to this, okay? He was still using wisdom, and he was on point with a lot of things that where he conducted himself and how he explained his reasoning behind it, okay? You know, why would you want, and you know, he said it's heavy. He didn't want to downplay Chinese food because it's cheap and you can get an abundance of it. But like he said, you know, when you don't eat on a regular regimen, and that's what we're coming into. We're coming into the times where you're not going to be able to eat on a regular regimen. All right. So you're going to have to, you know, what good is, and I say this because I've done this before and I realize it's not health beneficial for me. Okay. I'll eat, I'll fast, you know, sometime or whatever. And then, you know, after so long, your stomach kind of shrinks, right? But then you'll turn around and break the fast with a big heavy meal, you know, with a lot of food, like you said, a platter or a feast. Okay, and it makes you heavy and it puts you right back, and you don't truly get the benefits out of what you were fasting for in the first place. All right. Now, before I grab this scripture, another one came to mind, which I was thinking before, but it came back. So let me start with that one. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. Okay? Because when you go to the house of mourning, you're in a place of you know, like some people lose their appetite, so to speak, when you know things is bad. Hey, the last thing, what happens when people eat, man? The best time to catch somebody slipping is when they're eating. Okay, that's when you have your guard down. But when you in a state of mourning, you're looking at the bigger picture of everything. Okay, you're seeing things differently. A lot of jakes out there, they eat and then they get comfortable, and that's what shuts you down. I've been privy to that. You know, I've done that before. Okay, but as we see what's approaching, we see the famine approaching. We see the urgency, you know, being amped up by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in the spirit. Hey, this is how we got to move, you know. And it says, then to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men. Okay, when the day of one's death is the end of all men, and the living, what led to his heart, will consider the big picture. Okay, And we know the scriptures say whoever perishes being innocent. I believe that's in Job, the 4th chapter, right? Or where will the righteous cut off? So we got to consider, hey man, let me make sure I'm doing the right things. I don't want to be compromised because I'm hungry. I can't function because I don't have a certain amount of food. And even this old terrible food that we eat, you know, if by the time you start trying to really fill up on food, you start realizing, hey, a lot of this has chemicals and GMO and so on and so forth in it. And those are the things that you get really addicted to. A lot of times Jake will eat, like he said, he just want nutriment, which I don't even know what that is. I believe that's a highly nutrient milk or drink or something, I'm figuring. You know, and he says cereal, something light, so he can just eat a little bit and still move around with it. Okay? Even, like as we're coming into this, we got to consider, you know, what good is all these canned goods for? Okay, if you hoarded up food and doing all that, that's not for when you become a pilgrim on the earth, like the man right here appears to be. Okay, and I'm gonna get that scripture. But cause how much water can you carry? How much food can you carry? Who gonna have time to carry all that? That's for when we hunker down. Okay, after you hunker down and you can't get out, and then when that time's up, hey, then it's time to make moves. Okay, you got to be able to travel. Okay, and sometimes you may have to travel light and travel fast. That's what the scriptures tell us. All right. So it says, yeah, for sorrow is better than laughter. And at the dinner table, the custom of it, that is where a lot of entertainment and enjoyment and deep conversation happens at. Okay, it's a beautiful time. But in these times, we should all understand what time we're standing on. Well, there's you know, there's a lot of Jakes and even so-called Hebrew Israelites, and I'm saying so-called because they're conducting themselves in a sense of that they're still attached to this world. Okay, the gentleman right here, he don't seem to be attached to the world like that. Okay, he asked for $2-3 to get him through the day. What you gonna do with $2 or $3 to get you through the day? Like how's that gonna work you out? You know, when he said whatever you want, he could have said a 10, a 20, a 5. He really went with real, and this is how we gotta move. But he also conducted himself with you know, I was gonna say with grace, but with you know, with etiquette. He asked how he was doing. He thank you, and he, you know, he's really humble about it and showed gratitude. Okay, he didn't let his condition change the person he is for you know, being angry at the world, even when somebody was trying to help him. Some Jake got the audacity to act like somebody owed him something. Okay, well that ain't what we're into now. Okay, the time we're coming into as men of the Lord and believers, you know, in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, hey, we're supposed to conduct ourselves and move a certain way. All right, now let me get to the second address. I'm gonna start up at the second address 16 verse 37. It says the point was in 40, but I'm gonna read down because it's painting a picture of the climate that'll be going on in the earth, and as that climate, you know, as we live within this climate, as the scriptures saying in the book of Acts, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. So we ain't gonna get to just chill, you know, in the house and watch Netflix and, you know, and study in peace. And that ain't gonna be what it is, man. It's gonna be a real life in a perilous climate that we have to navigate through. Okay, to be day to day, to sustain ourselves through to the end of this thing. All right. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Right. The plagues. What are these plagues? The perils. Okay. And when when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her womb. The closer to the day of delivery, the harder the contractions get. Well, that's how these plagues in the earth are gonna get. We see how 2025 came in. Okay, death, destruction, you know, crazy actions. Okay, that's how this month is coming in. Storms, tempests, okay, earthquake, all these things are kicking the year off, where you should 2025, man. No one should be able to ignore the prophetic nature of the climate of the earth. Okay, well, it's gonna. I'm here to tell you, and we're here to tell you that these things are only gonna increase as we get closer and closer to that day. All right, it says, which pains when the child come forth, they slack not a moment. Back to back to back to back every day, every hour. It's back to back, minute after minute. Gonna feel like constant going through things, right? 39. Even so shall not the plague be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And every situation is gonna potentially be a perilous situation. Okay, and only because of passed down experience, but wisdom and the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai will guide us around it, as it says later, toward the end of this chapter. Okay, because you got to know the climate as a believer, in Yahweh Shem Shai. It's funny, I got this other video on the mind, but as somebody that claims to, that professes to believe in this thing, you have to prove the actions of it, and the actions are written on how we should move in this thing. Okay, and it's a specific way Yahweh Bashim Yahushua wants us to move in this world. And this guy is sadly enough, I don't know who he is or what he believes, or what's his motivation in the world, what he does, with his daily life. But hey, looking at some of how the Hebrew Israelites walk around, fringes on their t-shirts and whatever else they're doing, trying to be Mr. Community and all this other stuff. Hey, he's moving a more sincere way. Okay? Now, like I said, I don't know what he's into, but just gauging it off a video, he could be whatever else he's doing in the world. I don't know. But continuing on, verse 40, it says, "O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle." So one of the battles we're going to have to fight is hunger. One of the battles we're going to have to fight is demons. And how do we fight demons? We fight demons with prayer. The fasting is going to be there because of the famine, right? And we're gonna fight it with our conduct and how we'll still show gratitude. We still show patience, okay, one another, and basically staying in the word. Hey, and Bibles may not be available. I see a trend, which I get it, where a lot of brothers use their phones and don't really hold physical Bibles the same way. Okay, and I get it. It makes sense. You can hit the other translations. I use it too. But at the end of the day, we have to have this word written in us to a certain point to where we can reference these scriptures, we can go over them and stay in the spirit of the words of the book. Okay? And that's going to keep the demons at bay. Okay? That's part of the conditions of the battle. And to endure the temptations and all the other things. Hey, because they say, man, I'm using the worldly phrase of it, but an idle mind is a devil's playground. Okay, but in turn, hey, when you sitting there idle hands, what did it say? Idle hands make Ecclesiastes, I believe. Okay, yeah, that's a an idiom, I guess. But nonetheless, that's even what we see with the apostle, putting out there, which is understood, that we should be busy daily getting into this word. Okay, doing videos daily, giving that time to put it out there. All right. So if you're not busy doing something, for Yahweh Shem Yahshua, if you're in that spirit, you leave yourself open to be in another spirit, which any other spirit but the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to lead you to destruction, and not into compromise, if you will. Okay, and not into salvation, right? It says the King James Version of the Bible does not include the phrase idle hands or the devil's workshop. Instead, it includes the verse Proverbs 16:27 through 29, which reads, "An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire," right? But then it goes to say, the phrase idle hands or the devil's workshop was added to the 1971 Living Bible translation. Okay, the idiom idle hands are the devil's tools means that people are more likely to get into trouble when they have nothing to do. So the apostles putting that out there that we should be more fervent and more on fire. Hey, there's plenty of of things to go into. I mean, you can probably easily do one video a day just on the topics of things that are coming to pass. Just prophetic type topics. That's not even, admonition and conduct and breakdowns. Okay, just the basics will get those things taken care of. Okay, Proverbs 10. Idle. This is the one I was thinking, and it didn't even pop up. It said, "Idle hands." Proverbs 10:4. Idle hands make one poor, but diligent hands bring wealth, and that's what we're talking about: the wealth of knowledge, the wealth of faith. Okay, the wealth, as the apostles were stating in this dream. Out of the belly shall flow rivers of living water. Yeah, the more water, the more your hands is put into this ministry, to the work. The more water, the more rivers of living water are able to flow through you, through the Spirit. Okay, 2 Thessalonians 3:7-8. Paul and his fellow missionaries worked hard so they would not be a burden to others. Okay. Yep. This is Luke 10, and I don't know what translation these are, but we know what this was talking about. Yahushua told people to pray for workers to be sent into the harvest field, not idlers. Okay, and then what is that saying? I'm trying to think how the other one goes. Let me go there. Yeah, this is Luke chapter 10, verse 2. It says, "Therefore said he unto them, the harvest is truly great, but the laborers are few." Okay, yeah. We gotta reap. Jake gotta get reaped. There's a third of the Israelites that gotta wake up. And there's a lot of work to do. Okay, the more edification that comes out, the more spirit, and the apostles so eloquently said it, and the more of that takes place, the more it's able to overwhelm the elect by pulling them into this thing. Okay, it says the harvest is truly great, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord Yahweh of the harvest that he would send forth laborers into his harvest. Okay, and so that's just showing you that. All right. Sirach 38:24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. While we have this time, this is the time we gotta use the most of. Okay, to gain the most wisdom as we possibly can. The things that'll build us up and sustain us in the day of the Lord. Okay, when things are gonna be hasty, man, things are gonna be unstable. Okay, and he that had little business shall become wise. Yeah, when you knock out your business and then you can get to your leisure time, that's when you put that time in. And affording that time is really imperative. Okay, 25. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow? And he that glorieth in the goad that driven oxen and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks. Yeah, if these are if things, that's why it says in Micah 2, depart, for this is not your rest, it will destroy you even with a sword of destruction. The more you're attached to in this world, okay, the heavier it is for you to move around, the heavier it is for you to disconnect when these things are taken away. All right, and that's what he's talking about. Like, nah, Chinese food is too heavy. A lot of times people will give you a platter or a small feast of food, but you can't eat all of that, and it can go bad. But I just need something that I can continually put some nutrients in my body and keep moving. Okay, and when the day comes, that's how we're gonna have to be able to move. Okay, imagine trying to move quietly through through the city, wherever you may be, but let's say through the city, and you're going to have a shopping cart, a grocery basket to carry all your things. You're attached to too much. The Lord told him take none of those things with him. Matter of fact, Let me get this before I switch the topic over. Start at verse 1, Sirach 39 and 1. But he that hath given his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof. Okay, that's what keeps the demons away. Okay, that's part of the conditions of the battle, fighting that off, and keeping that away from you as much as possible through prayer, through reading. Okay, it's gonna help fight off that's putting on the whole armor. Is gonna help fight off all the temptations and all these other things. Remembering, hey, that this is but for a moment. That the time we're in now is nothing in comparison to the time that's coming. So don't give in. Okay, it says, and we'll seek out the wisdom of the ancients. The things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. Keeping that within us will keep us stable, to make it through these times, right? And be occupied in prophecies, and that's the things that we continue to look for and add up and keep with us. Okay, we're looking for that. We're hastening to the day of the coming of the Lord. So as we see these things happening, we're occupied in it, right? Said he will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. Okay, and he will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and become conversant in dark parables. Yeah, and when you are able to be around Akim, getting certain breakdowns. Hey, let's go through this. Let's talk about this. What do we see with this? And and having everybody on the same page. If you happen to be in that situation, if not, that conversing in dark sin, that's us breaking these words down for people. Okay, doing these videos while we got it, because in a day, we'll be lucky to be around another man of the Lord that already understands these things. Be blessed, I should say, to have someone around. You may just be breaking this down to somebody, and if you have it half-assed, and you're going to be able to, how are you going to break it down where it makes sense and truth? Because the truth ain't half-assed, right? Now, let me go. So I'm here in Matthew 10, right? And we're going to have to move around and confirm certain spirits as in the days of the book of Acts. Okay, they were moving around, and then certain people were in certain places that believed but didn't have the true understanding, and men of the Lord were able to kind of, hunker down with them, for lack of a better term, and break it down, have a meal, get a little bit of rest, and then keep it moving to the next situation, right? So I'm not going to break all of this down, but let's see. Yep, it tell you don't go to the heathen. Basically, go to Jake that believe. Don't even go to the 2/3. Okay, go to them that believe, and it's pretty specific about that. When you go down further, it tells you don't worry about trying to break it down to who don't want it. This is for those that want it, because those that are gonna turn us in, right? That ain't about this thing gonna turn us in, right? Anyway, I'm gonna just jump to verse 10. It says, Matthew 10:10, nor a script for your journey, neither two coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves, for the workman is worthy of his meat. You just need what you need. Okay, and that's not exactly the one I wanted. Let me find the other one. Okay, there's a couple more. This one in Luke 9, I like how it's written better. Luke 9 and 2, I started. It said, and he sent them to preach the kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, and to heal the sick. Okay, and he said unto them, take nothing, this is Yahushua himself speaking, take nothing for your journey, neither staves, nor scrip, nor bread, nor money, neither have two coats apiece. Okay, so you don't need to have a lot. You need what you need on you. Okay, the basics, just enough to feed me with food convenient for me, as Paul said. Okay, I don't want to be hungry, nor do I want to be full. I want balance, just enough. And he didn't want to be stuffed. He wanted to be able to keep moving, and have enough nutrients to keep a clear mind. Because hey, when you're in famished, man, it's heavy. And I'm gonna grab two more scriptures. Let me get this one in Matthew. Actually, I think both are in Matthew. Just going to read this one, Matthew 24, verse 7, real quick. It says, for nation shall rise against nation. These are the signs of the end, right? And kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So you really can't get too stable and buckle down anywhere. Okay? You shouldn't be caught up like that. You got to stay on the move. Okay? And there's plenty of places in the scriptures that talk about famines and earthquakes and pestilences. Yeah, the more you eat, the more you're going to be susceptible to eating apeel and different, GMOs. And if you know what apeel is, APEEL, okay, apples or different things, okay, you're gonna know that these are the Bill Gates, what they call him, Gil Bates, right? His type of GMO foods, man. Okay, that has the JAB in it, just to say it in code, right? So you don't want to take that in your body and have to try to, through the Spirit, get yourself out of that. All right. So all of this is all leading up to the climate we're going to be living in. Okay. So you're going to have to be basically as a pilgrim moving around and live on the minimum, because as Yahushua said in the 4th chapter, man shall not live by bread alone. But let me get it because it's just beautiful. Straight to the point, right? Verse 4, Matthew 4:4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh. Okay? And that's what we have to get in us. Okay, so the more we're able to thin down our lives and detach from this world. Now, yeah, you got to go to work, you got to pay your bills. You don't want to be homeless yet. That's when we're forced into those situations. But in the time now, you got to still be in position to continue this ministry until the Spirit moves and say, okay, this is now to the next stage. And that's going to be evident and clear through the Spirit, for the elect, man. We're going to know when that time has changed, when something different, is upon us. Okay, we won't be out on the streets still teaching when that moment comes. Okay, we'll have to have gotten this to the point that we needed at. Now, when we jump over a couple chapters, I want to get this point. It's in the Lord's Prayer, right? And I'm gonna go straight to the point. Verse 11. It says, "Give us this day our daily bread." We just need enough. As the guy, the gentleman in this video, saying, "I just need enough to get me through the day." He didn't even want to ask. Even though the guy was coming up offering, he didn't even really want to burden him or even ask. Okay? I just maybe some cereal, some nutriment, whatever, so I can put something in my body, for, more concentrated nutrients for low amount, and then a few dollars to get me through the day. Okay? That's all we really need, man. The basics, the simplicity. Okay? And for us, he got a little backpack or a little something that he could sleep on. He got a kind of layered up. All right. And then you're going to have that word in you. You go into a movie, even like the Book of Eli, and you see he had his pack, he had his protection, and he had his word, his Bible. So these are the things that we got to pack light. And then he stayed with that same, be it as much be it within you, be at peace with all men type spirit within him. Not to say, he would be mean to this guy on camera. He could go around the corner, but that's the spirit we need to be in. We know that's what the scriptures say. So just using this video of this guy as an example, Lord willing, was edifying, man. Just want to to kind of bring to mind the climate we'll be in and the direction as men of the Lord that we're moving in. So Lord willing that, we don't waste this time that we have now while we have this grace open unto us, and we get this rehearsal going to the time that we get, to be pilgrims as pilgrims on the earth, that we'll be prepared for that moment. So Lord willing, this is edifying. Giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. To the next one, Shalom.